Let's take a look at FreeConferenceCall.com for our Toastmasters meetings here. Now make sure that you go to FreeConferenceCall.com because FreeConference.com is a totally different meeting platform, and that's not going to be a good option for our meetings because, well, for one thing, that only limits you to 5 people for a free meeting. But FreeConferenceCall.com is a good one. This one lets you have up to 1,000 participants. It's free. There's no time limit, unlimited number of meetings. You can actually record the meetings up to 1 gigabyte. It actually stores them in the cloud on FreeConferenceCall.com. Now let's take a look at how it works. You do have to create an account. If you don't have one already, go ahead and put in your information and hit create a free account. If you do have one already, you'll need to log in, and you'll see there's a tiny link here at the bottom that says existing user login, or in the top right you can click login. I do have an account already, and my password manager system fills it in automatically here, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit submit to log in. They accept donations. It's a free system. They do ask for donations. Now, when you go in here, you'll see this is your meeting ID. That's going to be part of the link that you send out, so you might want to make that the same as your Toastmasters Club meeting. If you want to change that, go to menu and settings, and this is where you'll be able to set your time zone, your contact information, access code, which would be for your meetings, and there's your ID, so you can change that, your host pin, some of this information. Now, entry and exit tones, you can have those on or off. Personally, I would want those off because if someone comes into the meeting a little bit late after someone else is already talking, you don't really want these tones going off. The other settings I would leave as they are right here. I think these are important. Wait for host off. That means if someone joins the meeting before the host arrives, they're allowed to join the meeting. Otherwise, they would have to wait for the host. Continue without host. Leave that on because that means if the host gets kicked off somehow, everyone else will be able to continue without them. Recording is on, so then you can record the meeting if you want. In-meeting chat is on. So by default, those are appropriate right there. Go ahead and hit save changes to save the one that I did change there. Now, let's go back to where I started was the dashboard. If I go to menu and account dashboard, that takes me back to where I was here. To host a meeting, I can either hit host a meeting here in the quick actions, or under online meetings here at the top, I can click there to host a meeting, or up here in the top right button, there's a button that says host. So there are a few different options right there. I'm just going to click this one, and it'll pop open this little box here, and it'll prompt me to download the software. It's going to automatically start the download here. It's going to ask me where I want to save it. Let's go ahead and save it here. And then open that up to activate it. And now this is what happens then. Once the software is installed, the software opens up. And since I already clicked host a meeting, it just went to that automatically. You saw that there are 2 options there, join and host. But since I already clicked host, it just went ahead and opened that up automatically. Now I'm going to click join with computer audio. See, this is my meeting screen. You can see down here at the bottom, here are my options, my meeting controls already. I'm going to maximize this so we can see this a little bit better. It's asking me for my microphone and speakers. I'm going to go with my default here.
Welcome, and thank you for choosing FreeConferenceCall.com. You're helping people around the world communicate for free. You are the only participant in the conference.
They want to make sure that you know you are welcome, and so then they always give you that welcome message, and they play this elevator music until someone else joins. It's interesting that it does that. I'm going to invite my friends now. Down here at the bottom, I click the invite button, and then it shrinks it down into a small window again here too. So it changes back from the large full screen down to a small window, and it lets me copy this to the clipboard. This will be the entire text here. If I click copy, it'll be this entire text. I could invite by email. If I wanted to click that, then that would prompt me. It would go back to my browser, and so then that would allow me to send an email through there. But I copied the link. I'm going to actually send it to my friends here. I've got an email already open, so I'm going to send that to my friends so that they can join us here. I'm going to click this little X here to hide the invitation panel, so this way this will take me back to my meeting. And I'm going to maximize this window again so we can see this full panel here. And you can hear the music stop when someone else comes into the meeting. Now down here at the bottom where it says attendees, it had a little 1 there. Now it changed to a 2. So that means someone else is in the meeting with me here. I can open up the list to see who is here. I see that Joan has joined us here, and she is turning on her video now. Deb is joining us now, and it looks like she has no audio at this time or video. I'm going to turn on my video too. We can see our main controls at the bottom here, the bottom left, are the options to mute, and for audio, that really ends the call. It says audio, but that really hangs you up from the meeting. And then video right next to that is where I can turn on my video. There we go. Now I got my video on, and I see Joan, and I can hear you, Joan. It looks like it's just you and I now. It looks like Deb got kicked off. She might be having difficulties joining here. Now, one thing that I've noticed here is that the audio is quiet. On FreeConferenceCall.com, the audio is really quiet. Now, in order to hear you, Joan, I had to turn my speaker up all the way as loud as it would go, and you still don't sound super loud here when you speak.
Yeah, same with your voice on my end.
So that's one downside of FreeConferenceCall.com is audio is not so good. Deb, can you hear me? Can you speak?
I can hear you.
Okay,
But
good.
you can't see my video.
Oh, now I see you. I guess I am in speaker view. Let me see down here in the bottom right where it says view. I can change to gallery view. Okay, so I'm in active speaker view. That's why I could not see you. Now if I change to gallery view, there we go. That's the way to do it. Now, since we're looking at the controls in the bottom right, that's where you change your view, and then your preferences are right next to that. And I don't like how when you click on certain things, it shrinks your meeting down. I like to keep it maximized, but that shrinks it down. It minimizes the screen. These are some various settings here if you wanted to look through those. We're not going to mess with any of those, but that's where you can look at your audio and video or anything like that. And then right next to that is the button to leave the meeting if you want to do that. Now, since I'm in this panel here, I want to close the preferences panel. There's an X here in the top right, and that closes it. So I go back down to our meeting where I see my team. And again, it minimized the screen, so I've got to click maximize to make it large again. And in gallery view then, of course, when you hover over each person, it shows their name. And in the top left is their microphone, so that you can mute that person if you would like to. Then in the bottom, your main controls are in the bottom, in the center. You'll see the button to invite people, so that'll show the invitation, which I demonstrated earlier when I invited them in. And Deb is joining now through her iPhone as well too, so she's coming in twice. So we'll see if she's able to get her video on there. There we go. There's her video. Now, you both had to install the software to join on your computer in the first place, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And then Deb, you also had to you had to download the app on your phone to join on your phone?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, there's an app also. iPhone and Android both have an app, and so it'll prompt you to download the app. As you can see, she can turn it so it's vertical or horizontal. And so then portrait or landscape, so she can join either way. And of course, it looks better on the computer screen, the horizontal view, because the images that we see here are horizontal. We also see the options here. We can share the screen. And so here I can choose which screen that I want to share. I can choose to share this screen on my computer. So now do you both see my screen, toastmasters.org?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then to stop sharing, I can click that same button again, and then I can pause it or stop it. I'm going to click pause. I'm going to click stop. If I pause it, that would just freeze it right there, so you can see that the video stopped moving, right? How it looks to you guys. You still see my screen, but there's no video moving. So I think so. I'm going to stop sharing it. Something interesting about FreeConferenceCall.com is when you click share, you can also share the whiteboard here. This is kind of fun for interaction. Start sharing. It does this. It opens this up in a separate little browser here. Here we've got the whiteboard, so I can click pen. I can draw. I can clear it. Can you both see the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I can't see either of you since I opened up the whiteboard now. I can only see my own video. I can't see either of you anymore, and I don't see the option to change back to the video. But this is kind of neat. Now if I open up, so when I click options here, and then I enable attendee annotations, can you both draw on the whiteboard now? I'm going to maximize the whiteboard here so this looks a little bit better. There we go. And I can see someone else's drawing here.
You trying to write my name?
Joan, nice. Oh yeah, I see you're both writing your name kind of on top of each other. It looks like I see here it says Deb and here it says Joan. Yeah, I can change the color of my pen. There, I see my video just changed to Joan, so I'm not sure if that's the active speaker. View. Change to view. There we go, I can change to gallery view. But that doesn't, it's not in alignment with my whiteboards. Then let me see if I can shrink that up here so I can see the whiteboard underneath. Okay, see if I can find it, the little two arrows there, so I can grab the edge of that and move up. Maybe not. A view. Let me just go to active speaker. All right. Let's go back to gallery view. Wait. That's not what I want. Let's go to compact view. There we go. So now I can see the screen. So compact view works best for this, then I can see that. If you want to save your work, you can do that as well too. Click save, and that'll prompt you to download it. Image files. I can clear the whole thing if I want to. Clear all drawings. There we go. So that's kind of neat. In order to stop the whiteboard, just click the X. There we go. Just click the X in the top right. Then I'm going to go back to view, gallery view here with all of us, and maximize the screen. Okay. So that's kind of a neat tool. It's kind of awkward though, the way you maneuver and get around everything though. So we were looking at share. That's in the share options. You can share the whiteboard. Next to that is record. We can record the meetings, and your recording will be available on the FreeConferenceCall.com website afterwards, and you can download it from there if you want. Attendees, we looked at that already. You can see the attendee list. And when I open up the attendee list, at the top there are some options. Mode, so I can unmute the conference, mute the whole conference. Lecture mode, which means that only I would be speaking and everyone else would be muted. Hold. Just put the meeting on hold. Lock the meeting so no one else can join. And Q&A. This would mute the conference and allow me to select participants whom I want to ask questions. And so then there are a couple interesting little features there too. And here's the chat. So next to the attendees in the bottom, you can see the chat, and the little one just popped up there, which means there's a chat message. If I click chat to open it up, there we go. I see Deb iPhone is on here. She says chat from iPhone. I'm going to send a little message here. Hello everyone. And there's some emojis here as well too. It looks like Joan sent me a private message. Did you send me a private message? I see that there's a little lock on it.
Yes, I did.
to send a private message directly to someone, then where it says everyone, you can click on that, the blue bar, and then you can select that person's name. There we go. And so you can see it's got the lock on it. It's private to Joan. Deb says, gotta run. That's a neat little icon. So that's on your phone, so it looks like you've got some extra little emojis.
On the phone, it will not let me do an individual chat message.
Okay.
And it does not have the usual. Okay, it has a lot of extra little icons,
Yeah, I like those.
but I'm not seeing that it'll let you send a private message.
Now, okay, so it looks like you can't do a private message on your phone. What if you like tap on the person's video or maybe that person's name in the attendees list? I wonder if that would give you an option to send a message directly to them. I'm seeing here with all of the emojis, I can send any of these tons of emojis like what I have on my iPhone too. Yeah, and then down at the bottom is free emojis.
It looks like you can send files, documents through the chat through
You can send a document.
the attachment.
Yeah, you can send attachments right there where it's got the paper clip. You can send a file, send attachments. That's kind of cool. So if you want to send a PDF, perhaps of your speech evaluation to your evaluator, you can do that. Or the agenda, the meeting agenda, perhaps, something like that. Or if there's other information that you want to share. But yeah, I'm seeing that there's some little... Oh, it looks like I was still set to send that to Joan because my previous message was to Joan, but yeah, there's some cute little emojis that you can send in there too. So that's cool. Yeah, so there's quite a variety of different emojis and things that you can send. That's pretty neat. I'm gonna close the chat. So Deb, do you see any way to send a private message on there? Were you able to find anything?
Yes, you should have one.
Oh, let me open this back up again. Okay, so I opened attendees accidentally, so I've got attendees and chat open both. I'm going to close the attendees. And, oh yeah, there we go. I see, yeah, test if still in private.
I don't know, Joan, did you see the one that says test if still in private?
Yes,
Okay,
That doesn't look like it's private, though. There's not a padlock by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I just
Joan
sent a
sees it
private
too.
message back to you. You got it.
and the one you sent back to me, Joan, does have the little padlock on it. So I think that's how you can tell if it's sent privately.
Yeah, that means it's private. Yeah, I do see you sent me a private message, Deb. It says, yes, you need to go to the participant list to send private. So I did get that. And there's a padlock on it. So yeah, that's a private message. So that's how, if you're on the phone, you go to the participants list. Okay, and then next to the chat, that's your reactions. Okay, let's take a look at the reactions too. This is where you can raise your hand. And then you can see that here in the bottom right corner of my screen. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, Joan is raising her hand. You can clap to encourage. Deb's got handshake there. Yeah, Joan's got to laugh out loud. Cry. I'm laughing so hard I'm gonna cry. Yeah, agree, that's the handshake. And so it looks like it stays there until you hit remove. Yeah, laugh. Like, dislike. And then you go back in there to reactions to remove it. So that's pretty cool. So this looks like it could be a usable platform. Now, I don't like some of the ways that the controls work. I mean, for me, maybe it's just as a host, like when I go to certain screens, it'll minimize the screen and then I have to maximize it again. And I don't like how I have to jump around back and forth like that. But what do you guys think about using FreeConferenceCall.com as a meeting platform?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit cumbersome, especially we tried last time when you have supposed you share your screen, you have to enable another person at the host in order for that person to be able to share screen.
Yes.
That's it's just a little extra making the news a little bit.
Right. Yeah. It is kind of cumbersome. Yeah, depending on someone's Zoom meeting too, they might have it enabled. They might have it set so that they would have to make someone else a co-host or to enable permissions in their settings before they create the meeting for someone else to share their screen. Now, if someone wanted to share the screen, so right here, when I open up the attendees list, well, here, I guess there's the option for private message to send a message to Joan here. For example, there's the bubble next to her name and the microphone where I can mute and unmute her. And then the three dots here next to her where I can switch the presenter. So I would make her the presenter for her to share her screen. If she was the presenter and I wanted to request the controls back, I would click request controls. Or any of them, if they wanted to request the controls, they could do that as well too. I could put her on hold or drop her from the meeting as well too. So there's some options there too. I also don't like how the volume is super quiet. I had to turn my speakers up all the way as loud as they would go, and you both still sound kind of quiet. I don't know if that would be better perhaps through headphones or if that's better on the phone. Deb, how is the volume for you on your phone?
Okay, hold on, and I will turn off the sound here, and I'll turn it on the phone.
Okay.
It sounds. Go ahead and talk.
How do I sound?
It's still kind of muffled, even on the phone.
Still muffled and
So we
quiet?
can hear you better.
Yeah, you sound better. Yeah.
But yeah, the incoming is still very quiet.
Okay, I see. Well, so I guess if you're on your phone, other people can hear you better, but you still are not going to be able to hear everyone else much louder. Do you have your volume up all the way on your phone?
Yeah, and there's also, well, maybe I didn't. Nope, I did not have it up all the way.
Okay, let's try that now. Do I sound okay?
You sound okay. It's still not as loud as the other ones were. And there is a bit of a lag between when you're talking and I actually hear you.
Okay, so then it's like you know what? When I'm looking at my own screen and I see that as well too. My lips are not lined up with my voice, what I'm saying. So that's interesting. Is it like that for you too, Joan?
Yeah, I can see it's other things.
All right. Well, free conference call then, it seems to be like there's maybe like less bandwidth or something like that. I'm not sure maybe, but the audio is not as good. It's not as loud. And I think Deb is switching back to her computer. There's our little demonstration of FreeConferenceCall.com. Well, it's a usable platform. I like that you can go between gallery view and speaker view. You can share your screen. You've got chat. You can send private chat messages. The whiteboard is pretty cool. I haven't seen a whiteboard in many other platforms.
The whiteboard is cool and it's also free.
Yeah.
And there's no limit on how many people can attend.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a good thing. It's free, no limits. From what I read, there's a limit. It's 1,000 people, which I don't think we're going to max that out.
And it also allows you to record the meeting.
That's a good thing too. Yeah, you can record the meeting. But there's our demonstration of FreeConferenceCall.com. This could be a usable option. If you have any other questions or need assistance getting started, reach out to me or one of our team members, and we'll be happy to assist you in that.